Number 25, Texas Tech falls at number 5, Houston, by a score of 77-54. The Cougars set the tone on the defensive end and showed why they have the best defense in all of college basketball. In today's video, we'll recap the game and also look ahead to the next game for the Red Raiders on their schedule back in the South Plains, where there will be a top 25 matchup when another set of Cougars is set to play the Red Raiders, this time from BYU. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and most importantly, turn on that notification bell to stay in the know on your Texas Tech Red Raiders all year long. Whether that's football, men's basketball, we've got you covered from recruiting, whatever's happening on the gridiron, the hardwood, and everything in between. You know what to do and where to stay in the know when it comes to Texas Tech football and men's basketball. It's right here on the most subscribed to Texas Tech YouTube channel and the Back to 12 podcast channel. All right. Before we get into the recap and everything like that, go down to the pinned comment and let me know your one-word reaction and one word to describe the Red Raiders loss at number 5, Houston. Dominant is the word that comes to mind when talking about Houston, but let me know what you think in terms of the Red Raiders side of things and their loss at number 5, Houston. All right, let's jump into the recap here. As I mentioned, Texas Tech did fall to the number 5 team in the country in the Houston Cougars by a score of 77-54 down in H-Town. And before we really get into the recap, I want to say this because I think it's vitally important for people to realize, and I'm not trying to make excuses for Texas Tech. I'm really not. This is really what I'm trying to say, though, because it's unequivocally the 100% truth right here. Winning on the road in the Big 12 is the hardest thing to do in college basketball. Let me repeat that. Winning on the road in the Big 12 is the hardest thing to do in college basketball. It's even harder when you have to go play a team that's won 14 in a row at home, is coming off of 2 road losses in the Big 12, and has a Hall of Fame head coach in Coach Sampson. That being said, Texas Tech just had an onslaught against them when it came to the Houston Cougars and going home and really getting back in the win column in Coach Sampson's crew. I mean, Texas Tech just simply struggled to get within the arc on a lot of plays. I thought Joe Toussaint had his worst game as a Texas Tech Red Raider. A lot of that had to do with the defense that Houston was throwing at him. I thought he was hesitant in the opportunities he did have where he did actually beat a guy off the dribble. He was hesitant to get to the rim, stopped on the block, and passed it out instead. He's not the only one that did that, by the way. Pop Isaacs did it as well, Chance McMillan. Basically, every Texas Tech primary ball handler did that, okay? Now, there are some positives for Texas Tech in this one. They did shoot over 40% from 3 as a team, led by Kerwin Walton, who got back on track, who shot 6 of 9 from 3, pretty damn good, and led the Red Raiders with 18 points. Now, obviously, you would like that to come in a win, but outside of Kerwin, the Red Raider offense was just, I don't know, stagnant, really out-physicaled by the Houston defense. Listen, Houston's defense is legit and really historical when you look at it from a broader decade lens, okay? So over the past 7 years, and yes, I know I said decade, but Houston is a top 10 defense in all of college basketball over the past 7 years and probably will end up one of the top 10 best defenses over the last decade in all of college basketball. They're physical. They can switch everything. They're uber athletic. And oh, by the way, when you get down to the rim, they can absolutely contest the shot and make it difficult for you in every sense of the word. So again, you want to know why it's so difficult to win on the road in the Big 12? The perfect example is Houston. I never doubted Houston being great in terms of they have a legit chance to make the Final Four. But go look what they did the week prior to playing Texas Tech. They lost to Iowa State and TCU. It is downright improbable that you are going to win on the road in the Big 12. Like, if you win 2 games on the road in the Big 12, congratulations. Like, it's crazy how difficult it is to win in this league. That being said, I thought on the defensive end, Texas Tech just flat out struggled in the pick and roll. Jamal Shead had a career night. I mean, absolutely, he was phenomenal. 29 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds for the senior Houston guard. I thought Texas Tech could not do anything in the pick and roll on both sides of the floor. But defensively, I just thought they were out physical. They didn't really want anything to do with the pick and roll. They would go under. They would never hedge. And I thought Shead just took full advantage of it, if you ask me. Overall, though, when it comes to this game, sometimes the team just kicks your ass. Let's just call it what it is. Sometimes it happens. Tech made adjustments. Let's not act like this is, last season where in Tech in this situation. If Tech was in this situation against Houston last year, they lose by 40, maybe 40 plus. But they made adjustments. Don't get it twisted. It's just when you have a Hall of Fame coach you're going up against, he notices adjustments, and Tech had a little bit of a run here and there. But then Coach Sampson made another adjustment and put that adjustment that Texas Tech had to bed. And Coach McCaslin really tried to make really 4 or 5 adjustments that I can count and think of right now, thinking about the game. And again, credit to Houston, man. They just did a phenomenal job. That defense is all kinds of legit, and it is going to give Big 12 offensive fits all year long, regardless of if it's on the road or at home down there in H-Town. They did an absolutely phenomenal job, and sometimes you just got to tip your cap overall. One more time, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell to stay in the know on Texas Tech men's basketball and Texas Tech football all year long right here on the most engaging and most subscribed to Texas Tech YouTube channel. In the Back to 12 podcast channel, we'll have film breakdowns, game recaps, game previews for Texas Tech basketball, and we'll have the same for Texas Tech football. Even in the offseason, recruiting never stops, and we'll be talking about position previews and everything like that for Texas Tech football in the not-too-distant future. So hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to stay in the know on everything Texas Tech football and men's basketball all year long right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel. All right, some overall thoughts while I have next up on the bottom of your screen for you guys right there. I'm not too worried about this loss if you're Texas Tech. Again, Houston has a historical defense. They tried to make adjustments, and sometimes you got to tip your cap to Houston and the other team that you're playing. That said, I thought that one of the issues for Texas Tech was the pick and roll, and that was where they've been really, really good offensively. I thought that they really weren't physical. I thought that they were trying to find the easiest point of attack, which is obviously smart, but against a team like Houston, there is no easy point of attack. So what they would do is if they actually did get a first step and have a drive to the basket opportunity, they would kick it out instead because they knew that there would be some help right there by the rim. I thought that was something, but I really think, again, you did some things well from the shooting standpoint. You're going to be a good shooting team, but overall, the things that really stand out to me were the defensive end, where you were just simply out-physicaled in every aspect of the game on that half of the court. All right, you got another opportunity at a top 25 win, though, if you're Texas Tech. This time it'll be against the other Cougars in the Big 12. As I mentioned in the open, it will be the BYU Cougars. The number 20 BYU Cougars will head out to the 806 on Saturday, January 20th. to face off in a top 25 matchup at the USA. Game time is set for 5 p.m. Central Time, and you can watch the game on ESPN2. We will have the preview here on the channel tomorrow. Had to get this recap out because, again, I saw some people panicking, and it's just Houston's really good. I still think Texas Tech is a really good team as well. But you can tell the difference between a first-year head coach at his program and a guy in Kelvin Sampson that's been there for a decade. That was shocking to me. It feels like Sampson's only been there for about 7 years. Regardless, you can tell there's levels to this, and Sampson has got this well-oiled machine while Grant McCaslin is very much in the process of getting Texas Tech to be a well-oiled machine. But no doubt the Cougars had the Red Raiders number on Wednesday night down in H-Town as the Cougars, the number 5 Houston Cougars, beat the number 25 Texas Tech Red Raiders at home down there in H-Town by a score of 77-54. One more time before we get out of here, give me your one word to describe the Red Raiders' loss at number 5 Houston. And if you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell, most importantly, so you can stay in the know instantly on everything Texas Tech men's basketball all year long right here on the most viewed, most subscribed, and most engaging Texas Tech YouTube channel in the Back to 12 podcast channel.